Alright, in 6.1, they talk about finances, different financial formulas. The first one, question 3, it says 10,000 is invested for 6 years at a simple interest rate of 1.6%. So notice 1.6 is moved over to two places to 0.16, or 1.6 divided by 100. You can either move the decimal over two places to the left, or you can divide by 100, either one. Okay, so your interest rate, or your I, interest, is the amount you invested times the interest rate times the years, 960. Now how much was the future value? Well, it's the original amount plus the interest. So it's P plus I, or P plus PRT. Okay, same thing. Number 5, they give you 20,000 is invested for 6 months, and notice I said 6 over 12, or 0.5. A simple interest rate of 2%, 0.02. They want to know what I is. So I equals PRT, interest. Again, PRT, 200 bucks. So P plus PRT, P plus PRT equals P plus I. Well, you know it's 20,000 plus 200, so 20,200. Number 7, you're borrowing 800 bucks for 6 months, so 6 over 12 is 0.5. 6%, 0.06. How much must you repay at the end of the 6 months? So you figure out the interest, P times R times T, it's 24 bucks. But you got to also pay back the original $800, so you owe them $824. Number 9, I equals PRT. Again, you lend $3,500 to a friend for 15 months, so it's 15 over 12. 15 over 12, which is 1.25. At 8%, or 0.08. Find the future value of the loan. So it's interest is PRT, 350, and that's P plus I, or P plus PRT, equals 3,500 plus 350 is 3,850. Okay, and number 16. Number 16, a student has a savings account earning 9%. Simple interest, she must pay $1,500 the first semester's tuition by September 1st. And September 1st is one semester. That's 1/3 of a year. It's 4 months out of 12, so 1/3. And the $1,500 for the second semester by January 1. So she's got to come up with this P plus PRT, and we don't know what it is. It's something. So 1P plus 9 over 100, or really 1 over 100P. Okay? Oh, 9 over 400, sorry. Which is 1.0225P. 1 plus 0.0225P. This becomes 0.0225P plus 1 is 1.0225P. Dividing both sides by that, you get P equals 1467. So now you know how much they have to come up with in order to have enough money to pay for both quarters, both semesters. Number 19, it says 5,000 is invested at 8% simple interest. How long does it take to be worth 9,000? So if it was 5,000, you have to get $9,000 or 4,000 more in interest. So 4,000 equals 5,000, 0.08T. That's 400 divided by 400, and you get 10. Or in 10 years, that's what you'll get. 21. A retailer owes a wholesaler $5,000. It's due in 45 days. If the payment is 15 days late, there's a 1% penalty charge. The retailer can get a 45-day certificate deposit earning 6% simple interest, or a 60-day earning 7%. Okay, this is the 60-day and this is the 45-day. Okay, is it better to take out the 45-day certificate and pay on time, or take the 60-day certificate and pay late? Okay, the 45 day is 45 days out of 365 is your time. Interest rate is 6%. The amount you want to end up with is 500,000. So you plug in everything that you know, and this is 0.007397 something something p. This part here is 0.007 something, and it's a p, and this is just a 1p, so 1.007 something. Just like 1x plus 0.007x is 1.007x, because they're both p's. You add them together. And now divide both sides by that number, and you get p is 496, 328.53. That's how much you need to come up with initially. And your interest would be whatever the difference is there. Now if it's 60 days, you're getting it at 7% interest, and it's 60 days over 365. Okay, and you have to pay a penalty of 1%. So 1% penalty on 500,000 is 5,000, so you're going to end up having to come up with 505,000. So you plug in the R, the T, and you know what that guy is. And this is something P, and that's 1P, and it adds together to 1.011P. Divide by 1.011 whatever, and you get P is 499,255.615, and your interest is 57.44. So this one you have to come up with 499,000. This one you have to come up with 496,000. So this one requires less money, and so it's the one where you pay on time after 45 days. 23 I will show you in class next week. For now, let's go on to 27. It says, write the first terms of a sequence whose nth term is -1 to the n over 2n plus 1. Okay, so the nth term is simply, the first term is where n equals 1. The second term is where n equals 2, and the 20th term is where n equals 20. So first term, you put a 1 in for n and you crunch it down. Put a 2 in for n, you get -1 squared is 1. Down here you get 4 plus 1 is 5, and so on. And you can figure out each one of these. And there you go. 31, you've got three numbers in a sequence, 2, 5, 8, and they say identify D and A1 and find the next three terms. So A1 is always the first term, so this is A2 and A3. Okay? D is simply how much you add to get to the next number, or in other words, any term subtracting the previous term. So A2 minus A1, or 5 minus 2 is 3. So that's your common difference, or D. And so add 3 each time to get the next term. So 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 plus 3 is 14. 14 plus 3 is 17. There you go. Number 35, it says find the 83rd term, a sub 83. In terms of the arithmetic sequence with first term is 6. Common difference is -1/2. Okay? So to find any term, a sub n, you can use either of these two formulas here. Alright, so in this problem you get two options here. You can use a sub 1 equals the previous term, a sub n minus 1. So if this is a83, this is a82 plus d. The trouble is we don't know what the 82nd term is, so we can't really use that one. We've got to use this guy, where a sub 83 equals a sub 1, which we know, plus n, which is 83, minus 1 times d. And we know d as well. Alright, so on this one we're going to use the second one because we know a sub 83, or at least that's what we're looking for. A sub 1, the first term is 6. The 83rd term, so n equals 83. And the common difference is -1/2. So all of this can crunch down. This is just 82 times the -1/2, which is -41, plus 6 is -35. So now you know the 83rd term. 37, they want the 100th term, and they give you the first and the 8th. Well, if they give you the 8th term, you know it's the first term plus 8 minus 1 times d. Well, that's 19 equals 5 plus 7d. 8 minus 1 is 7. So subtract 5 and you get 14 equals 7d, or d equals 2. So now we know what d is. Okay, so a sub 100 equals a sub 1, which we know, plus n, which is 100, we know, and d, which is 2, that we know. So a is 5, n is 100, d is 2. 100 minus 1 is 99, times 2 is 198, plus 5 is 203. Okay? 38, they ask you for the 73rd term, and they give you the first and 10th term. So a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. So a sub 10 equals a sub 1 plus 10 minus 1 times d. You use the two terms that we do know. And 10 minus 1 is 9. So now we'll be able to figure out what d is. Subtract 20, divide by 9, and you get d is 3. Okay, so now we should be able to figure out the 73rd term. Okay, so a sub 73 equals a sub 1, 20, plus n, which is 73, minus 1, times d, which is 3. 73 minus 1 is 72, times 3, and add 20, and you get 236. Now here's a new set of formulas. This is for adding up terms. It's called the summation. So like imagine if you're adding up the numbers 1 through 10. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. I think it ends up being 45. Well, this is adding up n number of terms. So you can go as big or as small as you want. But you got to have some starting numbers. You have to know typically a sub 1. And here you know a sub 38. So they're asking you what's the sum of the 38 terms. Well, the formula for the sum of terms is, the sum of n terms is n over 2 times a1 plus an. Okay? And so 38 over 2 is 19. 2 plus 113 is 115. And that gives you 2185. Okay? 41. They ask you the sum of the first 70 terms, and they give you a1 and they give you d. Well, you also know n. You know n, you know a1, and you don't know an. Okay, so you get 70 over 2 times 10 plus a sub 70. Okay, so that's 30 times 10 plus, and how did we figure out 44.5? Over here we said a sub n equals a1 plus n minus 1 times d. We need to figure out what a sub 70 is before we can finish this problem. A sub 70 equals the first term 10 plus 70 minus 1, because n is 70 here, times 1/2, which is d. You crunch all that down and you get 44.5. And so a sub 70 is 44.5. So now add that and multiply by 35 and you get your summation of the first 70 terms. Okay, 46. They tell you on 46, they tell you D is salary increases by 3,000 each year for 7 years, so n equals 8 because there's 8 total numbers. And your common difference is 3,000, and so your first term is the amount that your raise is, 3,000, and so you've got 8 over 2, and the first term plus the nth term. The nth term we figure out by using a sub 1, n is 8, and d is 3, so we know that that equals 24,000, and that's where we get this guy from. Punch that in, and now you've got your salary is 108,000. Very nice salary there. All right, 48. They give you, if you make 36,000 to start with, and you get $2,400 raises each year, in how many years will your salary double? So you want to know what term is it that equals 72,000. So your a sub nth term equals 72,000, which is your first term, 36,000, plus n minus 1, you don't know what n is, times d, you know what d is. So multiply that, and you get 2,400 minus 2,400, and you subtract 36,000, so you get 36,000 equals this. Add 2,400, divide by 2,400, and you get 14. So the 14th term, or the 14 years later, that's what you're going to get. And 49, we'll have to make a new video on that one.